Captain Minho stood on the bridge of the Earth Defense Fleet flagship, the EDF Dauntless. His eyes were fixed on the main view screen showing the approaching alien vessel. The ship was unlike anything he had ever seen. Sleek, almost organic in design with no visible weapons or propulsion systems. "Magnificent," he whispered. Lieutenant Jisoo, his communications officer, looked up from her console. "Sir, they're hailing us." "On screen," Minho ordered, straightening his uniform. The image shifted to reveal a humanoid figure with pale blue skin and large almond-shaped eyes. The alien wore what appeared to be ceremonial robes adorned with intricate patterns. "Greetings, people of Earth. I am Ambassador Tai-He of the Arterian species and representative of the Galactic Confederation. We come in peace." Minho nodded respectfully. "Welcome to Earth, Ambassador. I am Captain Minho of the Earth Defense Fleet. We are honored by your visit." 3 days later, Captain Minho escorted Ambassador Tai-He and 5 other alien representatives to Earth's United Space Command headquarters in Geneva. The massive underground complex housed the nerve center of humanity's military operations beyond Earth. Admiral Jiwoo, a stern woman with gray-streaked hair and more combat medals than anyone else in the fleet, greeted them in the main conference room. The walls displayed holographic projections of Earth's various warship classes. "As you can see," Admiral Jiwoo explained, pointing to a heavily armored battleship design, "our Hammer-class vessels carry multiple redundant systems. If one fails, another takes over instantly." Ambassador Tai-He and the other aliens exchanged glances. "And this," Admiral Jiwoo continued, highlighting a sleek destroyer, "is our newest Spear class. It can deliver over 50 megatons of conventional explosive force via kinetic projectiles." One of the aliens, a reptilian being named Wu Jin, leaned forward. "You still use physical projectiles? Most civilizations abandon such weapons once they discover energy-based systems." Admiral Jiwoo smiled. "We find that having both options gives just tactical flexibility." Ambassador Tai-He nodded politely. "Your vessels are interesting but perhaps outdated by our standards." The tour continued to the simulator room, where several officers were running combat drills. On the main screen, a virtual Earth destroyer executed a tight turn while firing all weapons at an enemy vessel. "We train our captains to fight even when systems are damaged," Admiral Jiwoo explained. "A ship with only 30% functionality is still a weapon in our doctrine." The aliens watched as the simulated destroyer, despite taking heavy damage, continued, fighting until it destroyed its opponent. "You prioritize offensive capabilities over crew safety?" asked a slender, silver-skinned alien named Hanul. "We prioritize mission success," Admiral Jiwoo replied firmly. "Our ships are built to withstand damage that would destroy most vessels, and our crews are trained to keep fighting regardless of the cost." Later, in the officers' mess hall, Captain Minho shared drinks with Ambassador Tai-He. The alien sipped cautiously at a glass of water, the only Earth beverage deemed safe for Arterian physiology. "Your people have a unique approach to ship design," Tai-He said. "Most Confederation races design their vessels primarily for exploration and scientific discovery. Weapons are secondary." Minho nodded. "Our history shaped our approach. We've had to fight for everything." "But you've achieved peace on your world now," Tai-He observed. "A recent development," Minho replied, "and we're still cautious. The universe is vast and unknown." Ambassador Tai-He set down the glass. "The Confederation has maintained peace among 32 species for over 500 years. Our technology is far more advanced than anything you possess. We could easily integrate Earth into our alliance as a protected member." Minho smiled thinly. "We appreciate the offer, but Earth prefers to stand as an equal partner." That evening, in their private quarters aboard their ship, the Confederation representatives held a meeting. "Their ships are primitive," Wu Jin stated, "but their combat doctrine is concerning." Ambassador Tai-He nodded. "They design for war first, exploration second, the opposite of our philosophy." "They'll learn our ways in time," Hanul said. "All new species do." Ambassador Tai-He wasn't so sure. As she looked out at the blue planet below, she couldn't shake the feeling that the Confederation had never encountered anything quite like humans before. Commander Do-hyun checked the sensor readings for the 3rd time. The patrol area near Proxima, Centauri was supposed to be quiet, yet something didn't feel right. 6 months had passed since Earth joined the Galactic Confederation, and this was the first major deployment of human warships alongside their new allies. "Sensor sweep complete, Commander," reported Lieutenant Jian, his fingers dancing across the holographic controls. Still nothing unusual. Do-hyun nodded but couldn't shake his unease. The HSS Thunderstrike, a mid-sized human destroyer, had been assigned to patrol the border alongside 2 other human vessels, the HSS Valiant and HSS Dauntless, plus 4 Confederation ships. "Run a passive scan on the asteroid field," Do-hyun ordered. "Use the heat detection protocols we developed for the Kuiper Belt missions." Jian looked surprised but complied. The screen flickered, then displayed several red dots hiding within the asteroid field. "Sir, multiple vessels hiding in the debris field. Their engines are running at minimal power. They're masking their signatures." Do-hyun hit the fleet-wide alert. "All ships, this is Commander Do-hyun of the Thunderstrike. We have detected multiple unidentified vessels hiding in the asteroid field. Possible ambush formation. Move to defensive. Position Alpha." On the main view screen, the elegant Confederation flagship, the Celestial Grace, acknowledged the warning. Captain Bomi of the Confederation appeared on screen. "Are you certain, Commander? Our sensors detect nothing unusual." "Our systems are calibrated differently," Do-hyun explained quickly. "Trust me, Captain, they're there." Before Captain Bomi could respond, the hidden ships powered up and emerged from the asteroid field. 12 Vrexian warships, their distinctive red hulls gleaming in the light of Proxima Centauri. "Vrexians," Captain Bomi said, her voice tight. "We're outnumbered 2 to 1. The Confederation ships formed a defensive circle, as per standard protocol. The human ships, however, spread out in a flanking formation. "Vrexian vessels, this is Captain Bomi of the Galactic Confederation. You have entered protected space. State your intentions." The Vrexian commander's face appeared on screen. He had rough grey skin and sharp features that reminded Do-hyun of Earth's sharks. "This territory belongs to the Vrexian Empire. Your presence is a violation of our sovereignty. Withdraw immediately." Captain Bomi attempted diplomacy. "This area was established as neutral territory in the Treaty of Rigel. We propose an immediate conference to resolve this misunderstanding." While the diplomatic exchange continued, Do-hyun quietly ordered his weapons officer to prepare all kinetic projectile launchers. The other human ships did the same. The negotiations lasted 10 minutes before the Vrexian commander cut the transmission. Seconds later, the Vrexian ships opened fire with energy weapons. The Confederation ships activated their shields, designed to deflect energy-based attacks, but they remained in defensive positions, returning minimal fire while calling for a ceasefire. "This is not working," Do-hyun said to his crew. "All human vessels execute attack pattern Sigma. Focus fire on their lead ships." The 3 human warships broke formation and accelerated toward the Vrexian fleet. The Thunderstrike fired its main kinetic weapons. Massive tungsten rods accelerated to a fraction of light speed. The Vrexian shields, calibrated for energy weapons, failed to stop the physical projectiles. 2 Vrexian ships took heavy damage in the first volley. "What are you doing?" Captain Bomi demanded over the comm. "Fall back to defensive positions." "With respect, Captain, defense won't win this fight," Do-hyun replied. The battle intensified. 3 Vrexian ships surrounded the Celestial Grace, hammering its shields. The Confederation flagship began to take damage, its elegant design not built for prolonged combat. "Helm, set course for the Celestial Grace," Do-hyun ordered. "Full speed." "Sir, that will take us directly through the Vrexian formation." The helmsman objected. "I know, do it." The Thunderstrike accelerated to maximum speed, firing all weapons. It tore through the Vrexian formation like a bullet, drawing their fire away from the Celestial Grace. "Get our shield generators back online," Do-hyun shouted. As the ship shuddered under enemy fire, the risky maneuver worked. The Vrexian ships broke their attack on the Celestial Grace to deal with the immediate threat of the Thunderstrike. This gave the other human vessels an opening to target the distracted Vrexian ships from behind. 20 minutes after it began, the skirmish ended. 7 Vrexian vessels had been destroyed or disabled. The remaining 5 retreated at high speed. The Confederation fleet survived, though all ships had taken damage. On the bridge of the Celestial Grace, Captain Bomi stared at the human commander on her view screen. "Your tactics were unexpected," she said. "But effective," Do-hyun replied, wiping blood from a cut on his forehead. "You risked your ship and crew to save mine," Do-hyun nodded. "That's what allies do." As repair crews worked to fix the battle damage, Do-hyun knew that this skirmish would have consequences beyond the damaged ships. The Vrexians had seen human combat capabilities firsthand, and the Confederation had witnessed something they clearly found both impressive and disturbing: humanity's approach to warfare. Admiral Sunwoo stood at the center of the observation deck overlooking the massive simulation chamber at Galactic Central. Below, holographic projections showed fleets of ships engaged in battle, human vessels in blue, enemy forces in red. This was the 12th simulation today, and like the previous 11, it was ending with a decisive human victory. High Commander Yoonji of the Confederation Defense Council watched with a troubled expression. The tall, elegant officer's usual composure had given way to visible concern. "Your combat doctrine defies our models," she stated, turning to face Admiral Sunwoo. "We've run these simulations with every possible variable. Your ships should not be this effective." Admiral Sunwoo nodded calmly. He was a veteran of Earth's last global conflict and had personally commanded ships in 3 off-world engagements before Earth joined the Confederation. "Our approach is different," he said simply. "We've learned different lessons." Around them, other Confederation officers and analysts studied data screens showing battle statistics. Strategic Officer Hyunjin, a thin officer with worried eyes, approached with a tablet. "Admiral, we've analyzed the Proxima Centauri incident in detail," he said. "Commander Do-hyun's maneuver to save the Celestial Grace had only a 17% chance of success according to our combat models. Yet he attempted it without hesitation." "And succeeded," Admiral Sunwoo added. "Yes, but the risk was acceptable," Sunwoo finished. "The potential gain outweighed the potential loss." The simulation chamber below reset for a new scenario. This time, the enemy forces outnumbered the human ships 3-1. "Begin Simulation 13, ordered High Commander Yoonji. The holographic ships moved into action. The human vessels immediately split into 3 groups, executing a complex series of maneuvers that confused the enemy targeting systems. 2 human destroyers moved directly into the path of enemy fire, drawing attention while the rest of the fleet executed a flanking attack. "They're sacrificing those ships," Strategic Officer Hyunjin said quietly. Indeed, the 2 human destroyers took heavy damage, but their sacrifice allowed the main fleet to break through enemy lines. Within minutes, the simulation ended with another human victory. "You build ships primarily as weapons?" asked Hyunjin incredulously, turning to Admiral Sunwoo. "We build ships to win conflicts decisively," Admiral Sunwoo replied. "Our history taught us that prolonged engagements only increase suffering." Later that evening, Admiral Sunwoo was invited to a private dinner with the Confederation's top military officials. The dining room offered a spectacular view of the gleaming spires of Galactic Central, but the mood was tense. "Your ships aren't even as technologically advanced as ours," said Defense Minister Junho, an older official with decorative implants that sparkled in the low light. "Yet you consistently outperform our vessels in combat scenarios." Admiral Sunwoo took a sip of the blue liquid in his glass before answering. "Technology isn't everything in warfare. Doctrine, training, and mindset matter just as much." "Explain your concept of acceptable losses," High Commander Yoonji requested. "Our analysts found it disturbing." Sunwoo considered his words carefully. "In human military thinking, we accept that warfare has costs. We try to minimize those costs, but we understand that sometimes sacrificing one ship might save 10 others." "You willingly sacrifice your people?" asked Hyunjin, horrified. "We give our commanders the authority to make those decisions," Sunwoo clarified. "Every human who serves understands the risks. More importantly, they understand that sometimes those risks are necessary to protect others." The Confederation officers exchanged troubled glances. "In 15,000 years of Confederation history," said Defense Minister Junho, "we've developed a defensive military doctrine. Our ships are designed to protect, to maintain peace. The idea of ships built primarily for combat is foreign. To us, I understand, Admiral Sunwoo said. For most of human history, we fought each other. It shaped our approach to warfare. We don't build ships hoping for war, but we build them prepared for it. High Commander Yunji stood and walked to the window looking out at the peaceful city. The data is clear, Admiral. In direct combat scenarios, human ships and tactics are 3 times more effective than our models predicted. Some members of the Council find this concerning. You fear us, Sunwoo said simply. Yunji turned. Not fear, but concern, yes. The Vrexians will not forgive the defeat at Proxima Centauri, and other powers are watching. The balance we've maintained for centuries could be disrupted. Admiral Sunwoo rose from his seat. Then perhaps it's time for the Confederation to adapt. Humanity doesn't want war, we've seen too much of it. But if war comes, we know how to end it quickly. As the Admiral left the dining room, the Confederation officers remained silent, contemplating the implications of humanity's different perspective on warfare and what it might mean for the future of galactic peace. The Galactic Senate Chamber buzzed with tension. 5,000 representatives from 32 species filled the vast circular room. At the center stood Representative J1, his ornate robes swirling as he gestured dramatically toward the human delegation. The evaluation results are clear, he declared, his voice amplified throughout the chamber. Human military doctrine represents a fundamental threat to galactic stability. Their warships aren't designed for peacekeeping, they're designed for annihilation. Murmurs spread through the assembly. On the main display, footage from the Proxima Centauri incident played. The human destroyer Thunderstrike charging directly into the Vrexian formation, weapons firing in all directions. For 10,000 years, J1 continued, the Confederation has maintained peace through defensive capabilities and diplomacy. These humans build ships with the primary purpose of destroying other vessels. They calculate acceptable losses as if their own people were simply resources to be spent. Ambassador. Yuna of Earth rose from her seat. The slender diplomat waited for the chamber to quiet before speaking. The Thunderstrike fired the new Confederation containment weapon. A sphere of blue energy engulfed the Vrexian ship's engines, disabling them without destruction. 3 more Vrexian vessels suffered the same fate before they realized their danger. The Vrexians adjusted tactics, focusing fire on the human ships they recognized from Proxima Centauri. But this time, the human vessels had Confederation shields that absorbed the energy attacks. Their formation is breaking, reported intelligence. Officer Minseo from the command ship. They didn't expect this level of coordination. After 30 minutes of battle, not a single ship on either side had been destroyed. 7 Vrexian vessels were disabled, floating powerless. The remaining 13 turned and fled at high speed. The command ship's observation deck, Admiral Sunwoo and High Commander Yunji watched the retreating Vrexian fleet. Human tactics with Confederation restraint, Yunji said, a formidable combination. We don't share the same history, Admiral Sunwoo told High Commander Yunji, but we now share the same future. 2 weeks later, the Galactic Senate reconvened. The emergency had passed, but its lessons remained. Representative J1, once humanity's fiercest critic, now stood beside Ambassador Yuna. I move that the Joint Human Confederation Defense Initiative be made permanent, he announced. What we once viewed as a liability, humanity's different perspective on warfare, has proven to be a strength. The vote passed with overwhelming support. As the Senate adjourned, Ambassador Yuna found herself walking alongside intelligence, Officer Minseo. The Vrexians have requested peace talks, Minseo informed her. It seems they're less interested in testing our defenses now. Yuna smiled. Sometimes the best way to prevent a war is to be very, very good at winning one. Outside. The Senate chamber, ships of the new integrated fleet conducted a ceremonial flyby. Their designs had already evolved, more elegant than pure human vessels, more functional than pure Confederation ships. They represented something new in the galaxy, the strength of humanity, tempered by the wisdom of the Confederation. A new era of galactic security had begun.